Hey guys, Bittersteel here, back with another video, and we're going for another achievement today, so let's go. We will be playing as Poland for this one, and we are going for no more partitions as Poland. Be independent and ensure that both Germany and the USSR are either in your faction or don't exist. Iron Man mode on, historical focus is on, let's get cracking. Speaking of partitions, how would you like to help stop the partitioning of Scotland's natural heritage and get yourself a title doing it? Today's sponsor, Established Titles, allows you to do just that. Using the ancient Scottish custom of referring to landowners as lairds, or lords and ladies in more conventional English, Established Titles allows you to buy a plot of land in Scotland as small as 1 square foot and up to 10 square feet. This purchase will go towards preserving Scotland's natural beauty for generations to come, and in cooperation with global charities like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, a new tree is planted somewhere on Earth to combat global deforestation. That's pretty neat if you ask me. And you too can now claim the august title of a lord or lady. They will even send you a gorgeous certificate that honestly looks pretty baller on your office wall. With this certificate, you can officially change your name to include your brand new title on your mail, credit cards, or plane tickets. Who doesn't want to be addressed as Lord or Lady? And for the map enthusiasts among us, they also have a series of maps that show the area where your land is located. The Kingdom of Scotland bundle, which features a 1611 hand-drawn, detailed map of Scotland by famous English cartographer John Speed. Now, the best way to start the new year in style, just become a Lord or Lady of Scotland with Established Titles. Now, they're running a big New Year's celebration sale, so use the code BITTERSTEEL to get another 10% off. Now go to establishedtitles.com/bittersteel and get your gifts now. Go. What are you waiting for? I'll wait. Now we will be going at this from a slightly different angle, and in preparation, let's just get rid of everyone. I think you know where this is going, but let me elaborate. We're going to organize the Peasants' Strike. I know, sounds like such a stupid move to immediately plunge Poland into civil war, but trust me, we are gonna go down the leftist path and surrender the East. Again, trust me. Yes, we'll become a Soviet puppet. Yes, we will give up the entire eastern half of our country, but two things. One, it gives us a very big friend when the Germans eventually come knocking, and two, we are perfectly capable of getting the East back without having to fight the Soviets. There's a focus that will actually give us our stuff back, and two, we are able to become free just by contributing to the inevitable great patriotic war. You know what I call this? Topping from the bottle. We're making the Soviets think they're in charge, but really, it's us calling the shots here. Anyway, let's get production going. So 5 on guns, 2 on support equipment, 2 on interwar fighters, just making use of that free production efficiency. Anything fresh can probably go into towed artillery. As for research, just the basics. We're gonna keep industry up to date. We're going to keep engineering up to date, and then I will be playing an infantry game, so I'm keeping my infantry equipment and artillery, maybe anti-air up to date. Could even go with anti-tank since we're fighting Germany, and air. I'm going big on CAS and fighters. With Soviet support, we should be able to make something happen. I'm gonna ignore tanks for the time being. As for construction, let's start with a couple of civs. And with the Peasant Strike organized, we're gonna invite the Morgus Front and then take arm the peasant militias and State National Council. Though take State National Council first. Once those 4 are taken, take another look at the focus tree. Now, as for decisions, what we want to do is quickly expand strikes to the factories, which means we're gonna need to pick one of these states on the map here. That is either a Belarusian core or a Ukrainian core. Big provinces with high factory counts, and then once you pick one of these, we can expand the strikes to the factories. We can essentially cover the entire country if we do this right, except for Wilno and Warsaw, I think. Anyway, let's start with Lvov. I wouldn't recommend seizing military equipment. You really don't need this one. Speaking of military equipment, let's just queue up 1 division without a location set. This will just give us a free army unit when the war starts. I know, it's a little cheesy, but hey, just a little cheese, right? Besides, none of what I'm doing is actually required. If you want to have a legitimate, air quotes, civil war, you can just keep the army intact. They will be split along fairly obvious lines, and you'll be fine. It's just, why make things more difficult than they need to be? Morgus invited, the State National Council, let's go. We also have a new decision here, Woo General Staff. This will, for a small price, apply the Peasant Sympathizer buff to a random general. It could be helpful if you want to expand your high command once this is all over. I wouldn't. You don't need to, but you could. I am personally more interested in getting more of the country, but maybe click it once or twice. As for industry, concentrated or dispersed does not really matter. I prefer going with concentrated since we don't have that many factories and I actually want them working at peak capacity. With the peasant militia's arm, there's really not much else to take here. You could raise the Black Madonna. This is actually pretty good. It only adds a little bit of democratic support, so it's pretty okay. As for the Danzig tree, pretty much ignore this. We will be giving up Danzig. We'll take it back by force later. We could then head into the industry branch. 4-year plan, pretty nice, good bonus. It's just unfortunate that we lose the 4-year plan national spirit. It is what it is. Now further down this tree, you'll find some excellent expansions for the industry. I would of course not recommend building in the east. Of course, we will be giving Eastern Poland away, so hold on to this one until we get it back. I'm gonna go with the extra research slot first, and then we'll see what's further down here. Now the looming peasant strike is over. We're into the end game. We're actually at the peasant strike. In 150 days, which will get shortened for every one of these on-map decisions we take, we will go to war with ourselves. And every one of these provinces that has the pitchforks will flip to us, and other provinces will remain loyal to the corrupt government. Our plan, of course, will be to have as much of this area under control as possible. So the peasant strike is about to fire. It will be done pretty much by the time this final province gets got by us. So take a little note here. These are provinces I usually go for. I find that this makes things relatively easy. You don't have to take this configuration. I just find it easy. You control most of the industry and you're really close to victory points to snipe them. So let's see just how this goes. And yes, I did end up taking Raise the Black Madonna because it's just too good to pass up, really. As for the anti-Comintern pact, let's refuse that one actually. We want to have good friends. And we're now at war with ourselves. As you can see, this is going to be relatively easily. Let's also quickly deploy that one unit we had queued up and queue up a couple more. Put everyone under a general. Let's see, we got a nice amount of generals out of this. We even got a field marshal. Sikorsky is with us. Now all we need to do is walk into the various victory points and this should be over. And it's over. That was quick. And just like that, we have ended the civil war just as quickly as it started. What we do from here is just finish what focus we were doing. I'm doing central region. Then we get the leftist Sejm, communal governments, and assemble a leftist cabinet. After that, we'll be back. All right, the leftist Sejm is done. That gives us a couple of options. We could hire Wanda here. She's pretty good. 5% research speed and daily communism support, which will help push us towards 50%. Or we wait a little bit and get Boleslaw here. No idea how to pronounce that, but Mr. Birut is a social autocrat, giving us 20% political power gain. I think I'm gonna wait a couple of days just to get this guy, and from there we'll see. There's a lot of good options here. We've got Halder here for mill factories. We've got this one for research speed. Of course, the regular captain of industry. Many options here. But first, communal governments, more stability and more communism. And with communal governments done, we can now already assemble a leftist cabinet. That's nice. I remember this being a little harder. I know why. Because it gets harder if you pick any of these. Let's just assemble a leftist cabinet so it can get cracking. And let us hire the social autocrat for that free PP. Polish PP big. And we have another 100 political power. Now, you do you at this point. It doesn't really matter for the long-term strategy. Good picks are Wanda here, or you could wait for the war industrialist, maybe even the captain of industry if you so fancy, or you could start work on your military cabinet early and start getting some army or air experience. Could actually just try and get partial mobilization as well. Personally, I think getting partial mobilization early, or even war economy early, is going to be a bigger boon than getting 5% research speed, so I'm going to wait out for that. We will be flipping communist. Bada bing, bada boom. Very important here. You either go with the Polish Peasant Union, or Poland belongs in the USSR. The one you want is this one. Poland belongs in the USSR. Click that one, and we are now pro-Soviet Polish People's Republic. Hurrah! The flag's not all that inspired, but it did open up options to surrender the East. And stupid as it sounds, this is the one we want. We want to buddy up with the Germans. No, wait, with the Russians to be able to fight off the Germans and crush fascism under our heel. And we'll get all our stuff back eventually, don't worry about it. And we can also go up to war economy next. And 150 PP, war economy. Mid 37, could be worse. There we go, the Soviet Union has eaten half our country, turned us into a puppet, but we're in the Comintern now. So what do we do now? We are going here for the Polish Socialist Republic and are going to grab all of these. And instead of independence, which will lead to war with the Soviets, we will go for the Greater Polish SSR. So will give us, well, our land back, which is pretty great. Now the Soviet Union usually honors this deal, but of course, as with all things paradox, you could be unlucky. But I've never seen them say no, so there is that. Once they've given us our country back, just continue working on the industry. It is important that we beef up the industry as much as possible. And if you really fancy, feel free to go here for the Gdynia seaport. That will get rid of embargoed economy and give you export focus. It's a better economy law, but I would not clamp down on Danzig. We're gonna give Danzig away, and that's it. We are gonna give all of this to Germany, which does include Gdynia, but it would be a way to get off embargoed economy. I'm personally not gonna bother. If I'm wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments. But first, let's see about manipulating the Soviets into getting our country back. In terms of political power, there's not really any set path for you to take. You could get your manpower up to start recruiting your army early. You could go for military high command for that much needed army experience who can start work on your doctrines. There's still some good political advisors in here. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just be aware that you will need to be ready to face off the might of the Axis when they eventually want a piece of the Soviet Union. And that's probably going to happen around the time the Soviets eat Lithuania. Personally, I'd like to get a little bit of army experience early, so I'm going to start off with the infantry expert. Again, could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. Now it's December 37. I could build maybe 1 or 2 civs extra, but I think it's time we start militarizing. So it's time for military factories, as well as beefing up the supply hubs in the region. So not only our troops, but the Soviet troops will be supplied on the front lines. Now, you have time. Germany is going to ask for Danzig, and we're just going to peacefully give it up. If you feel up to the challenge, feel free to fight for Danzig, but your big buddy here is, yeah, he's not going to be in much of a state to really put up much of a fight. We've got ourselves a bunch of focuses done. Let's go for the Greater Polish SSR. Let's see if the Soviets will actually give us our country back. They should. They better. All right, we can choose a doctrine. Now, we do have a few good options. Grand Battle Plan, very decent. It will definitely help you defend, and its battle planning bonuses are nothing to sneeze at. So Grand Battle Plan is definitely a contender. My favorite, still Superior Firepower, incredibly strong. I love this one. Or Mass Assault Doctrine, not bad, especially mass mobilization all the way down here gives you a great tactic, guerrilla tactics, plus a bunch of extra manpower, which will help. Deep Battle itself, supply bonuses, good. And then there's Mobile Warfare, which Poland is not suited to. I would recommend either Grand Battle Plan or Superior Firepower. Now, I like to play things a little more fanciful, so I'm going with Superior Firepower. You don't have to. Grand Battle Plan will serve you just fine. Yay! Soviet Union returns Eastern Poland. And with that, have our country back. Now, with our country returned to its former glory, we have other options. We can either work on the socialist economy, nice bonuses in this branch, or we start planning for the next war, which will be here in about 2, maybe 3 years' time. We can work on Plan West and fend off the hated Germans, or what I would recommend you do is to get as much out of this branch as possible, pump that industry and pump it big. We need to be big and strong. So I'm gonna go railway gaps, national defense fund, and then we'll pick up some factories because this 15% consumer goods is too good to pass up. Hurrah, we got a free slice of country. Zalzi is Polish. Huzzah! Poland grows larger. Now that is going to significantly increase our border with the Axis, so might want to go up to another conscription law, since I seem to have exhausted our country's supply of men, and we don't even have 2 full armies. And since we're communist, we can go up to extensive conscription already, and I would. You're gonna need a lot of men to fend off the Axis. We are not in the world's best position, but we have time before Germany comes knocking. Unless, of course, you plan to fight for Danzig. I don't. There we go. Danzig or war. If you're feeling particularly brave, feel free to fight over this, but I think we'll make a deal. We'll give that up, and we'll come back and take Danzig, we'll take Königsberg, we'll take Ermland-Masuren, we'll take Hinterpommern, we'll take Ostmark, and both Silesias, and I think that will be fair recompense. Well, Germany is gonna do what Germany does, so be it. We're just gonna sit here, enjoy the fireworks, and prepare. We need more troops. November 39, and France is gone. Oh well. Now with the Danzig given away, we can get rid of embargoed economy. Could go for the export focus, actually. Not free trade, I'll give too much of my steel away, but export focus might be nice. Having said that, I think I'm giving away quite a bit of my steel already. Now while you're working through your industry branch, and you get to a point where you feel, okay, I'm comfortable, I don't think I need any more of these. You can always switch over to increase autonomy and start getting your autonomy ticking. You will get plenty of autonomy just fighting in the Soviet-German war, the Great Patriotic War. You should have enough to break free. Just if you don't think you're gonna get enough autonomy, this focus will definitely help. We will need to be free to have access to the cores that we have created here. Oh yeah, the Soviets are gonna call you into the war with Finland. Don't worry about it. What we're really waiting for is for the USSR to eat up the Baltics, because at some point they're gonna annex Lithuania, and suddenly they will have an open border with no troops on it with Germany, while Germany does have troops here. As a result, Germany will instantly be able to break the non-aggression pact that is provided through the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and the Great Patriotic War will spark. So we need to be ready for that. See if I can actually ask for military access. Huzzah! Now with military access to Lithuania, we can actually put troops here just to stem the worst of the tide when they inevitably attack. At least we'll have troops there that have some entrenchment. Oh, there we go. Germany has a border with the Soviets, so have they done war with the Soviet Union yet? Yes, they do. So at any point they might declare now. So this is actually very risky. Oh, there we go. Germany breaks the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. They've declared war on the Soviet Union. At any rate, we have our troops in position. I could squeeze out these last couple and then just prioritize reinforcement. Once our numbers here have gone back up, of course, we'll recruit more troops. But for now, this should be sufficient to hold the line. I've got my air in position. I'll mostly contest Western Poland and just put a few hundred fighters over Eastern Poland on interception just to prevent strat bombing. I've built a few radar stations to help me with the air. As for my templates, this is what I've decided to roll with. 21 combat with, so the basic starter template, and I have added 1 artillery, engineer companies, and support anti-air. I could add support artillery, but oh, actually, let's just do that. And that should be enough to hold off the German onslaught. Just be aware that your front lines might be weird here to the south with all these puppets that are not immediately into war. The Soviets will draw us in any day now. And there we go, we are in. I do not understand why the Soviet Union insists on attacking everywhere. If the Soviets want to smash against the German lines, let them. I recommend just holding out for a little bit and see what happens. If you're feeling comfortable, you can try and push towards Danzig and cut off the Königsberg pocket, but Germany usually won't just let you do that. Having said that, it looks like they're actually going to let me do that. No, they're just going to keep funneling troops in. That's fine, we'll just defend. Now, Germany is going to come at you with a vengeance. You have entrenchment and you have some air support, so you should be able to hold. Now, it may become difficult. Don't worry. Even if they push you a tile, even if they push you 2 tiles, you will not just crumble. Trust me, the Soviets have your back here because they have so many numbers to throw at the enemy, and you have a decent army, good templates, you have air, you have the terrain advantage, and if you have them feeling particularly weak, you could have built a ton of forts, but I'm not about that fort life. What I'm just gonna do is micromanage wherever we're losing and fix it that way. Plus, all we have to do really is hold out until the Allies start naval invading, or until the Soviets ramp their country into overdrive and just steamroll the Germans, because and of course the occasional last stand should help. So as you can see, after the initial flood of red bubbles, we are stabilizing fairly nicely. Sure, they've pushed in 1 or 2 tiles like up here, but all in all, it doesn't really matter. The tiles they pushed into were pretty indefensible anyway, and we can just sit here, lay back, and let the Soviets do all the bleeding while we just build up our army more. We'll need a bit of an industry to get pumping though, but should be fine. Also doing fairly well in disguise. With the Soviet Air Force added to our strength, we have green air over all of Poland, so this will definitely help hold off the Germans. And whenever we get the opportunity, I think we'll go for a trip towards Königsberg. Germans are pretty mad though, but we've already inflicted 3-1 casualties. They can be mad all they want. It certainly looks like we're trading favorably in the sky. Yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of BF-109s here, Germany. Let's see if we can make a small counterattack. Fortunately, we do have green air over Prussia and, well, our Danzig here and Gdynia. If I can get a nice encirclement going here, we can collapse this all the way back into Königsberg. Of course, you don't have to play this aggressively early on. You can just sit here and let Germany bleed, and bleed they will, because they think they can take you, but really, they cannot. They've already lost almost 500,000 men, and we we have lost not nearly that. The key to any HoI4 campaign is aggression. You can always afford to be more aggressive than you think once you've got a bit of experience. So we've managed to create a small encirclement around Königsberg. Yes, they still have Memel and Königsberg as ports, but we should be able to collapse this, provided I can keep this closed. We should be able to collapse this. Rest of the front looks, yeah, pretty stable. They've only pushed this tile here, Zaulzi, but we still control the state. And up here, Poznan, we've had to yield some ground, but we hold on to the more defensible tiles here with relative ease, and we're gonna make the Germans hurt now. Many red bubbles, yes, but eventually they will crack. Look at the damage our cast is doing. Nice. Also, the next step in our plan, raise our autonomy level by 1. Once I finish this new military academy, I started this without really planning on getting it done. It's about time we start our increased autonomy. We want to break away from the Russians. We can be our own little country, and then we get all of our stuff back. Southern border. Yikes. Okay, so I think the Soviets are gonna be in for a nasty surprise here. I can't really afford to stretch myself, so I hope the Soviet Union responds by sending troops there. That's Bulgaria and Romania in, and the Soviet response on this border has been lacking. Let's just hope they have enough reserves to cover that. Usually the Soviet AI is a little less unintelligent than this, but I really cannot afford to stretch my line that long. Well, it's not looking too good. Mongolia, I knew there was a reason we were keeping you around. Thank you for this generous donation. Ooh, 4,000 Tanatuvan guns. All right. Yugoslavia. Well, all the more borders for the Germans to cover. Downside is I want to get my cores back, which includes Schlesien and Hinterpommern and Ostmark, before the Germans fall to the might of the Allies. And there's going to be a lot of allies here. Let's look at Greece. Go, man. Wow. Yeah, things are not looking favorable for the Axis. Ooh, situation for Yugoslavia. Not favorable. All right. Let's collapse this once and for all. That should make the front a lot less messy. Ah, good. Our first encirclement. Huzzah. And of course, all of this is our core now, and the Soviets will flip all this territory to us in their infinite wisdom. Thank you, Papa Stalin. To the south here, oh my god, the Soviets managed something. I think they landed troops and then completely took Romania and Bulgaria by surprise. So this is not as nasty as it was before. All in all, just being here as Poland really throws a wrench into the Axis plans. Ooh, if I can destroy all these divisions, that would be painful for Germany. Look at that. Oh, that is a blow to Mr. Schmittler. Yes. Please give me my stuff back, Papa Stalin. Aw. Oh, well, we'll take it into peace deal if we have to. All right, let's crack down on Danzig. That's our port. There's been Germans here for far too long now. Also, Germany is so hopelessly overstretched. They really, like, they're at the end of their rope. Pockets everywhere. Pockets for Poland. Let's see here. That must have been a very devastating loss of East Prussia. They're up to 2 million casualties now. Meanwhile, Poland's not suffered all that much. No. Don't worry, Torior. I'll make your country proud. Don't worry about it. We'll get our cores back. I think Bulgaria and Romania have greatly underestimated the Soviet juggernaut. Wow. And Germany has greatly underestimated the Polish might. Now, of course, we don't want this to be over too quickly. We want all of our cores. And, of course, it's easiest if we become free first. We get a better slice of the peace deal. So you might want to stall until you get free, or start increasing your autonomy a little sooner than I did. I did not expect us to make these massive gains this early. And I smashed through from Stanislavov down here to the Romanian salient. Another massive encirclement here. Let's clean that up. Oh, I love these. This is why we play Hearts of Iron 4, isn't it? Just to see these troops disappear. Love it when you see it. That's a big blow to the Axis. Then again, so is all of this, so nice. Ooh, that is a lot of divisions. And they're gone. All gone. Now, if you really want to hurry up and be free, what you can always do, as I have done, is to set up a lend-lease to the Soviets. I've given them a certain percentage of my production. If you have a lot of convoys, they work best. Or you could just send them trucks. Send them 2,000 trucks and they'll love you for it. Let's see. How many can I send you? 2,500 trucks. Great. It's most of my trucks, but should be fine. Can always make more. We've given the Soviets enough trucks. We have had too many Poles die in service of the Soviet Union. From here on out, we sail our own course. As a proud Comintern member, but we'll do things on our own terms. Now, Soviet Union, let's show you how it's done. And Polish troops are already storming Berlin. Brilliant. The fall of Berlin. There we go. The Russians stormed it? I don't think so. We're also running very low on manpower. I could go up another conscription law, but I don't want to. I could always just go here and capture my tiles. I mean, these are all my cores now, so if I take them, I also get manpower. Let's battle plan our way to victory then. Pretty much all I want now is Königsberg, and the Soviets are very not willing to give it back to me. I can always take it in a peace deal, of course. What? The Soviets have landed in Sicily? Oh, this is so weird. Germany's just melting. Yeah, that cipher's not gonna... Ooh, let's just halt this for a bit, though. Let's not overextend ourselves. As I was saying, Germany is just melting. They never even managed to deal with Denmark. Overall, this has gone very, very well for Poland. If only the Soviets would give us Königsberg. I've given them these 3 states, so Schleswig-Holstein, Mecklenburg, and Brandenburg. And in exchange, they will give me... Where are we? Königsberg. Yes. What? Liar. Oh, finally, they've given me Königsberg. And I should control all Polish states now. Now it's just a matter of smashing the Axis and making sure Germany is either gone or a Russian puppet. At least a Comintern member. In any case, it's not looking too good. Oh, Soviets have done weird things here. I'm surprised Romania's managed to push back like this. Oh, that's not looking good for you, Slovakia. No, not good at all. Sorry, Mountain General. Had to be done. And this is how we battle plan to victory. Without manpower. Oh god. Already 100,000 men short. Maybe you should ease off the gas? God, just cleaning up the corpse of Romania is taking more time than it took to push through here. I should really go up a conscription law. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm pretty much out of manpower. Bye-bye, Germany. Ooh, the world looks weird. Vichy France is still around. Don't they get... Ah, there, that got fixed. Okay, so that leaves us with Italy. And we're done. Something tells me I will not have great difficulties dealing with the remains of the Italian army. Yeah, our campaign in Europe has been devastating to the Axis, or whatever's left of the Axis. And elsewhere, they've also not been very successful. No, Poland is a roadblock if built up. Real roadblock. The AI just doesn't know how to deal with us. And with that, it's over. And there goes the peace deal. The Soviets go first, of course, but we have very high war score and we get to go second. And we control all of this, so it's going to be pretty cheap. The key here is to take provinces that the stupid AI can create nations out of. The Soviets love to create puppets. So take the states that can have puppets created out of them first and go from there. Okay, we've got those stuff back. And that is our cores, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we have all of our cores. And I believe the Soviets have also puppeted Germany like they almost always do. As a result, we are going to have a very, very nice peace deal. We've got the cores we need. Now we can just have some fun with the horrible peace mechanics. And with that, our achievement is done. No further partitions. And we've got the Peasant Uprising as well. Don't forget, that's 2 achievements in 1. Poland has all of its cores. Yes, Memel is not a core. Memel is just weird. Apparently, this is now Lithuanian Independent SSR. All right, so we've got all of our cores. And we are in the same faction as Germany and the Soviet Union. With that, we're done here. And of course, this horrible peace deal ended up working out really well for Croatia, not that much for France or Italy, and Albania didn't really fare that well either. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload more content. Now check out this video where I do some more funny shenanigans.